All right, we can see it, I think, maybe most of it. Okay, so today I'm going to be using a canvas panel. Nothing fancy. I think this one's from Hobby Lobby. It's 11 by 14. And we're going to be playing with alcohol inks today. So, I think I'm going with this color combination because I like it. And it is Sailboat Blue, I think. Maybe it's Turquoise. I think it's Turquoise. Turquoise and Pistachio and Dandelion. So these are all Ranger inks. And Turquoise, and I gotta get them off my shelf here. Dandelion and Pistachio. Where did I put Pistachio? Here it is. Okay, so these are the colors I'm using. I just put them in little glass jars so that I can mix the alcohol ink with plain old alcohol, and that way it gets a little diluted and it flows better. I get better melding of colors and blending and flow on the canvas. So I have plain 99% isopropyl alcohol. I have glass droppers. Yep, glass. I have plastic lids in varying sizes and empty cans and what have you, so that I can make those lovely circles on them. That always comes out with a fun effect, and you never know exactly what it's gonna do, which is half of the fun, honestly. And some more plastic lids. Everything's in various sizes because that's just how it goes. I apologize if there's any dog noise in the background. She always tends to find the most inopportune times to make her presence known. All right, we have Turquoise, Pistachio. I'm not going to leave them sitting on here so you won't be able to see them, but you'll know which color I picked by which color goes on the canvas. So Pistachio is the green color, yellow is Dandelion, turquoise is this blue. And they're going to the edges. The other day I accidentally knocked one off and luckily it was empty, but it was a little bit of a panic moment. All right, so we grab a dropper for each one and you just squirt it wherever you think you want color. And it spreads. And sometimes it spreads better than others, and usually I have to blow on it a little bit. And I want a puddle here. I did this the other day with one and it came out really nicely, but I'm always a little bit panicked at the beginning to know if it's actually going to come out nicely or if I just screwed up a canvas and that was a waste. When that happens, I usually just turn it into a mixed media painting and go over it with acrylic paint and cover everything up and start over with something else. Okay. Right now, nothing is blending, and that's okay. We will get there. This canvas has not been prepped with anything. It's just straight out of the packaging. All right, I have my drips, and I'm going to just put plain alcohol on the canvas also, so that when we move things, there'll be places for it to go. Okay. Here's hoping this turns out, because right now, I don't really think it's gonna go anywhere. I'm getting a lot of green. Not surprising since I have yellow and blue. All right. We're making progress. And when I blow on it, I do not breathe in. I do not inhale next to the canvas. I turn my head, inhale, and then blow on it. Because fumes, not so good for you. Not so good. And it really smells in here, and I should get a respirator, but I haven't done that yet. And we're gonna add more alcohol and more pistachio because it's a really pretty color. Try to guide the ink a little bit with my dropper. And it's still very wet, so I will be putting lids on soon. More blue. And when you add it, it just sort of makes pretty little flows. I don't like having white spaces in the middle, so I tend to fill them up with whatever I can. All right, we're gonna do a little bit more tilting. And then plain alcohol on these places that just sort of did their own spidery thing. So they'll flow back with other parts. And some over here, and I better get a move on it, it's starting to dry. My dandelion, I always run out of yellow so quickly, or it feels like it anyway. Okay. Okay. And it will spread a little bit more, but we're gonna put lids on in various places and configurations and jobbies. And I put lids, I've discovered, I prefer lids that are not open like this one is because they raise the color a little bit. So when you have a lid, the air can't get in, the color fades underneath it as you are letting it dry, which creates even more cool colors, which is pretty fun. But having some that are just circles, and I don't wash these between, so when you see different colors, like this has pink, I don't know if you can see that. It's like got red on it, so that's just gonna come through and it's fine. It'll be a different color. Actually, I'm not gonna use that one. Okay, so now we wait for everything to dry. And if I have, nope, I will speed up the process a little bit. If I can find an empty outlet. And maybe. I swear, I use outlets more than anything. Okay, the outside stuff that's not under plastic is dry enough that I can add some fun little dots to it. If it's still under a lid, it's still wet, so we're not going to touch it. So I'm just going to grab a couple paintbrushes. These are like the really cheap ones that come in a package of 12 for like $5, but they're fine. And just dot it on and make some little trails. And I use different size paint brushes depending on how big I want my dots to be, because they'll hold different amount of ink, obviously. And we're just making little dots. And if it's on canvas, so they're not perfectly round, which I would like them to be, but I use Posca pens, however you want to say that, to add the details later. So if they're not perfectly round, that's okay. At least I have a placement of where I want them, and I can go in with the Posca pens later and make them round and more opaque in nature. Ooh, I'm starting to like this, guys. As it dries, I like it more usually, because you just can't really tell when it's wet what you're gonna get. So here's this one. I'm using Pistachio on my paintbrush right now. And if I'm putting it on top of other Pistachio, it will lift the color somewhat and make it lighter dots. If I'm putting it on top of the Dandelion, for example, it'll just make green spots instead of lifting it and making lighter yellow spots. Excuse me. And I'm doing all of this on a piece of old cardboard because my desk is white and it gets very spotty. It is already very spotty. And then, let's see, where should I put some blue? We'll put some blue over here. Probably can't see that on the screen yet. Wait till I get lower. So I'm putting blue on yellow, which of course means that it will be more green. But there's a bit of it that you can see. It's going green. There we can see that better. Or blue. Let's see what happens when it goes on the green. Oh, there it goes, a little bit more blue. The hardest part of this is waiting for things to dry that are under lids. At least in my opinion. Okay, I'm not gonna add more right now. We're gonna wait and see what the under the lids parts look like. So I'm gonna stop this video here and I will post a picture later of what it looks like under there.